In this video, we're going to have a look at how to add and subtract surds. Now, you'll be used enough to adding and subtracting fractions, and you'll know that you can only add or subtract fractions if they belong to the same family, if they have the same denominator. Well, in a similar way, you can only add or subtract surds if they belong to the same family. Now, the surd's surname, if you like, is the square root component of its makeup. So what I mean by that is that, for example, 3 root 5, 2 root 5, 7 root 5, they all belong to the same family because they've got the same surname. So you can add or subtract these very easily. Same goes for, I don't know, 3 root 11, 7 root 11, 4 root 11. They all belong to a different family. But you could add or subtract these very easily as well. And the same goes for, if we think of the root 3 family. You've got 2 root 3, root 3 itself, I don't know, 12 root 3, and so on. They belong to the same family. So the square root part of the surd is its surname. Okay, so bear that in mind when it comes to adding or subtracting surds. Now you just add or subtract surds just like you would add or subtract fractions, or like you would add or subtract anything. Once they belong to the same family, or once you get them in that format, you can add them very easily. So 5 root 2 plus 3 root 2, it's the same as adding 5 of anything and 3 of the same thing. You end up with 8 of whatever that is. So 5 root 2 plus 3 root 2 gives you 8 root 2 altogether. That's all you do. Simple as that. 9 root 11 minus 3 root 11, that's just going to end up being 6 root 11. Okay? Now, very often you'll have to do a wee bit of work, and you'll have to simplify what you've got before you can perhaps do your addition or subtraction. And that's what we've got here. So you've got 6 root 5, that's already simplified for you, but root 125, you've got to do a wee bit of work on that. Now, simplify that surd, you have to think of square factors. What goes into 125? Well, it's the same as 25 times 5, where 25 is a square number. So that gives us that this breaks down to be root 25 times root 5, and root 25 is 5. So this gives me 6 root 5 minus 5 root 5, and that leaves you with 1 root 5, or just root 5. And that's how you would do or tackle that question. Okay, let's have a look at a few more where you have to do a wee bit of simplifying before you can do your addition or subtraction. Now, this one here. Let's have a look and see what we can do. Root 12 plus root 48. Now, this can be thought of as the same as root 4 times root 3. And this, if you notice that 16 goes into it 3 times, it's root 16 times root 3. Okay, so 4 3s are 12, 16 times 3 is 48. So this gives me 2 root 3 plus 4 root 3. So my final answer is going to be 6 root 3. So once you get them in the same format where they belong to the same family, you can add them very easily. Now for this next one, think of square factors of 20. What goes into 20? Well, 4 does, so root 4 times root 5. Square factors of 80. Now, trying to get the biggest one you can, 4 goes into it, but 16 goes into it as well. So it's going to be root 16 times root 5, because 5 times 16 is 80. So that gives me 2 root 5 plus 4 root 5, and that gives me a final answer of 6 root 5. Okay, 6 root 5. Let's have a look at this question. Think of square factors of 99. Well, 9 goes into it, so root 9 times root 11. And square factors of 44, you have 4, so root 4 times root 11. Break that down, simplified, you get 3 root 11 minus 2 root 11 which leaves you with 1 root 11, or just root 11 if you like. Okay, so root 11 is your final answer. Okay, so have a go at these 3 questions yourselves. See how you get on. Simplify each surd first of all, and then do your addition or your subtraction. Pause the video and then check back and see how you got on. Right, let's have a look at question G. Square factors of 90, you have 9, so that's the same as root 9 times root 10. And square factors of 40, you have root 4 times root 10. Simplify that, you get 3 root 10 minus 2 root 10, which leaves you with 1 root 10, or just root 10. And that's you finished. Okay? Let's have a look at question H. What goes into 24? Square numbers, you get 4 being a square factor of 24. And square factors of 54, well, 9 goes into it. 9 sixes are 54, so root 9 times root 6. So you can think of that as 2 root 6, and you're adding 3 root 6, and that leaves you with 5 root 6. And that's you finished. And finally, if you look at question I, think of what goes into 96. Remember your square numbers, you've got 4, you've got 9, you've got 16, 25, and so on. What goes into 96? Well, 16 goes into it. Okay, you might not spot that straight away, but you can think of it as root 16 times 6. Okay, so 6 tens are 60, 6 6 is 36. They add together to give you 96. And as for 24, we break it down just like we did in the previous question. It's root 4 times root 6, because 4 sixes are 24. So that leaves me with 4 root 6 minus 2 root 6, which gives me a final answer of 2 root 6. So that's how you add and subtract surds. You have to make sure that they belong to the same family, that they contain the same surname if you like, and once you've simplified them, then you can add or subtract them very, very easily. Okay, so I hope that was helpful.